What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boy oh boy, Activision is getting extraordinarily desperate. Now, I wanted to talk about this the other day, but of course you guys know they dropped the patch notes for Season 3, so I wanted to cover that with you guys first and foremost. And don't forget, guys, today is going to be the day that Season 3 is dropping. So if you want to see my first initial impressions and, obviously chat it up with me or even hang out, by all means, you can find me streaming it today over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But again, since these patch notes dropped, I had to push this video back, but I still had to cover it because, boy, oh boy, to me personally, it is hilarious. And it really shows how important the revival of, Verdansk is going to be for this overall franchise to Activision personally. They're taking it so serious to the point where literally everything in Season 3 had to be completely scrapped for multiplayer just so they could put all of their priority on Verdansk. Everything down to the weapons, the DLC content that we're going to be getting this time around within Season 3 is nothing original for Black Ops 6. It's being, once again, replaced with Modern Warfare 2019 content to bring back the nostalgia that people had for that experience back in the day. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I'm going to showcase to you guys the footage here. Now, I'm not going to put up the soundtrack or audio or anything like that. I'm just going to, showcase it to you guys because, for clear, obvious reasons, I'll get copyright struck in about 30 seconds in. But this is what they put all of their effort into, ladies and gentlemen. This right here, it's a fire trailer. I'll be honest with you guys. Very well put together, very well scripted. Whoever did all the work behind the scenes to, get this thing going, did a solid, phenomenal job. You knew that they got paid big freaking bucks. But again, that just shows where Activision is doing things wrong here. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole trailer is built around nostalgia bait. Even going ahead and putting in the song, Bohemian Rhapsody, it's mind-boggling. Because again, this isn't like something to try to hype people up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of trailers for Call of Duty come with hype tracks, whether it's some hardcore metal or rock, or even, hip-hop rap nowadays. Whatever they try to do when it comes to trailers for Call of Duty revolves around trying to get people hype into the action. 6v6 is, oh wow, so insane, in your face. Although sadly, it's fallen off tremendously because of the skill-based matchmaking, but you get the point here. Those are always the vibes. And again, anything coming into Warzone is exactly that, to hype you up, right? It's always been like that. But this time, they pick a song that is a complete change of tone to not get you excited, but to, pull at your nostalgia strings, your emotions. This trailer was more so to get people emotional than excited. And they do that for a reason. Again, it's genius, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely genius business and marketing, but it's not going to help them long term. And again, I'll explain to you guys exactly why. But it's genius because they don't want you to be excited for new content. They want you to remember, the good times of chilling, no responsibility, no work. You know what I'm saying? Just sitting home with your friends, your family, playing video games all day long because that's your responsibility at the time. Can't call that a responsibility, but you get it. That's what everybody's doing, kicking back during, COVID, of course. And they're trying to bring you back and make you think that those days were better than what they actually were. They are trying to do exactly what a lot of these companies do best. Tap into your nostalgia, because nostalgia is one hell of a drug. And it will trick and fool absolutely anybody out there. Easily. And that's what they want people to look at this as. Because let's be honest, if they were really going to try to hype this up as an exciting event of just literally going back to Warzone 1, it wouldn't work. There's nothing exciting about that. Nothing. They're literally scrapping everything they've done to just say, okay, we screwed up so bad, we're just going back to square one. That's it. What's exciting about that? They can't hype that up in any other way besides trying to tap into the emotions of their audience and tap into the nostalgia of trying to make it seem like those were the good days, the glory days of when gaming was fun and the Warzone was the main experience that everybody was playing. They're trying to get everybody in that mindset so more people will actually come and revisit this event. It's not for new people to come and see the event. Once again, going back into the thriller side, they would have made an exciting thriller, action-packed trailer if they wanted to bring in new people to play this. But no, they're not. Once again, they're trying to tap into your emotions, your nostalgia, because they don't want the new ones coming in. They want the old ones coming back. They're trying to bring everybody back in to what they all knew and quote unquote loved. But ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this isn't going to work. It's not as simple as that. And yes, it's genius right now because it's going to pull in a crap ton of players right out the gate, guaranteed. But nobody is going to last. It's just as simple as that. Back in the day, people were complaining about Warzone 1 24/7. Plenty of problems going on. Plenty of angry people. Yeah, maybe that had, tons of fun. Maybe that's, some people's preferred BR experience. But we can't pretend that it wasn't, still tons of issues going on. Cheaters, problems, crash issues, lag, server issues. Like, people are brushing all of this under the rug right now. Well, they're not brushing it under the rug. Activision's trying to brush it under the rug because, again, they're trying to nostalgia bait. They don't want you thinking about the negatives. They want you to think that those days were perfection when they were not. Warzone went on a downward decline because of many reasons. Of course, I will put to blame them switching so many things over time and not keeping Warzone its separate IP. But every BR does that. Fortnite does that all the time. They bounce around between seasons 24/7, yet it's still one of the most popular games in the world. So yes, I will agree that it didn't benefit Warzone that they kept adding new weapons and, synchronizing every game into the mix. I'm not going to say that's the end-all be-all because it's not. Not at all. The end-all be-all is the fact that they have the worst anti-cheat known to mankind, and their servers are absolute dog water. Those two crucial features, along with, the developers not being able to keep up with bugs whatsoever in the Warzone experience, is what's going to weigh this down. And if this goes as expected, in my opinion, it's going to turn out exactly like that. People are going to hop in. They're going to be nostalgia baited. They're going to get a boost of players. I guess maybe they can showcase that off or something like that to their shareholders saying, oh, look, we had the most players come back into Warzone. But I guarantee that fall off is going to be so rock hard because they're going to come back into the experience and see that absolutely nothing has changed. Yes, we're going back to a map everybody remembers. Yes, they're bringing back a few weapons from Modern Warfare 2019 to nostalgia bait you. But that's not going to be enough to hide the glaring problems within the Call of Duty franchise. And that is where they're going wrong with this. And on top of all of this, the worst part is the fact that they are, once again, nostalgia baiting with all the skins that they are showcasing within this trailer, making sure that everything is super duper grounded and fitting to what Modern Warfare 2019 was trying to showcase. Going to cater to all the players saying Call of Duty is straying away. It's no longer what Call of Duty used to be. And they're trying to prove this by showcasing every single grounded character that looks really badass in this trailer, when we all know the reality is that that is not going to be happening here whatsoever. I think I saw a tweet from Exclusive Ace actually discussing this. It'll probably be in the thumbnail more than likely, but it's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, let's be real. It's going to look like that, well, honestly, never. The second it opens up, everybody's going to go in with their Black Ops 6 skins, and it's going to be it. It's going to be Ninja Turtles running around and, a bunch of unicorns and a bunch of wild things, playing around in the Warzone experience. So that will never be the atmosphere. I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt and say maybe for like a day or two it might look like that, but it's not. Literally right out the gate, unless they have some magical setting that is going to allow you to not witness any of that stuff comes out, unless that happens, then yeah, we are going to be seeing the most wild skins within the Warzone experience. And I mean, everything is a lie. In my personal opinion, everything's a lie. Look, I'm not a Warzone guy, and I don't want to be such a Debbie Downer for you guys. I'm very happy that some people are excited that they get to play on Verdansk again. I don't personally know why, but again, if you're happy about it, you're happy about it. But let's not deny the facts here, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the same thing with multiplayer. It is what it is. They have priorities that they have to check off. And, making some flashy trailer that's going to cost them millions of dollars shouldn't be why people are coming back in. But sadly, we know that's how it's going to be. Sadly, we know they're going to get a bunch of players. And sadly, we know they're going to be able to use that player count to brag and boast, to be able to do the same things that they're doing time and time and time again. Low key, I kind of want Warzone to do its own thing and separate just so multiplayer can get a bit more love, but only time will tell, and we'll see if things go smooth upon launch, because if the game launches and it actually performs good, then you know what? I'll eat my words, but every single time a new season drops, it literally does the complete opposite of what each and every one of us want this franchise to do. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 Eastern Time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.